Hello, handlers. This is the OSDA Handlers Post with me, your host, Ty Barrett. Joining me today in hosting is President of the Oklahoma Stock Dog Association, Justin Barrett. And our special guest today is Buford Barrett, handler of Ruby, oh gosh, blank for a second.
Aslan, and Carmi, and soon to be Obo and Nala.
Okay. So we got a bunch of questions here for you. I'm going to get the insight of the man who has been handling dogs and training dogs for 25 plus years in Oklahoma. So let's just get right at the top. What got you started on this 25 plus years ago?
We used to have, my dad had a lot of lease properties with cattle, and every 3 to 6 months we'd have to move the cows, and it was always a headache. And I seen the dogs one time, and I thought, if a dog could really do that, I'll have one, and they really can do that, and I got one. Hadn't had that headache ever again. The dogs made moving the stock simple. So got that, and then got a few sheep and started tinkering and got better and better handling. Got more detail on the dogs and started trialing and just been doing it ever since.
Okay, so it was like over 25 years ago, but give me an estimate, like how old were you when it happened? Do you remember when you first
I was
started?
about 20 or 21, maybe. About 21.
Okay. Justin, got anything to add here?
I actually want to hear the story with you in the movie that, mom makes fun of you for it. That's what I really want to know.
We messed around with healers and different dogs. I seen the movie Babe, and that's what I go, if a dog can do that, I'll have one. And so we do. My wife makes fun of me because that got us all started, but with the Border Collies.
What a movie that was. What a movie.
That's one. If you want to get into stock dog, you should probably just watch the movie Babe just for that. Everyone's about seen it that herds stock animals. So what is a goal or achievement that you have been striving towards?
I'd like to qualify for the Nationals. We've won doing about everything else, so that's my last big goal to do is just to qualify for the Nationals.
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit here. Whenever you first imagine Buford at 27, 28, what was your goal then when you just started working these dogs?
When I first started was to be able to work the stock with them, be able to put the cows or the sheep in the pens without having to do much footwork. My first goals at the trial was just to compete. You always want to win, but I was just wanting to be competitive. And we've done that. So
taking it back, you said your first trial. Remember that? Give us your first trial experience.
My first trial experience, I got talked into going to a trial in Huntsville, Arkansas. I didn't know there was such thing as classes. So I show up there. It's an all open trial. I didn't know what open was, so being young and stupid, I entered it. My dog wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I wound up with sheep in all four corners of the arena and couldn't get them out. Everybody else there looked really, really good because they were open handlers. So that was my first experience. A lot of people would have run off after that, embarrassed, but most of the old guys from Arkansas, Missouri came and talked to me right after I ran, and it kept me going.
Do you remember any of the names of those people? Or
Bob Rowe, Dwayne Thompson. Gosh, there's so many of them. That's the two I remember right off the top. Dale Court.
Okay. So you never were a novice handler. You skipped all the steps.
No, I come back and they allowed me to drop down and run novice for a while. Really, I shouldn't have, but I didn't place or anything. I wasn't even close to placing, but I skipped right over all the classes and then had to come back.
Make your way back. That's a pretty good story there.
Are there any handlers that you know that you look up to, or really like to learn something from them consistently, or
Gosh, there's so many out there to learn from. The first handler that I looked up to was Dwayne Thompson when he ran the Carmy dog. I used to work in the back, setting the stock and doing the pin work, and just watching that dog from the back. I couldn't see what's, the whistle and stuff from the front, but watching that dog work, it just amazed me. So he would have been my first. There's always some great handlers out there. Alistair McRae, Angie Coker, Sales. Um, gosh, there's a bunch, but those are two right off the top I can think of. That
Okay, so sort of along the same lines, in your beginning, you're going to have a lot of struggles and stuff like that. What was the biggest struggle you had? Maybe started handling and training dogs.
Getting my dogs to widen out and square up. You see the dogs out on the trial course, the really good open handlers. Their dogs are so square, and they're keeping off their stock, and not knowing how to accomplish that was probably my biggest thing. And once you get there, you solve so many problems in handling. That's what I struggle with the most.
Okay, so let's flash forward to now. What's one of your biggest? That was your biggest struggle then. What's one of your biggest weaknesses as a handler right now?
Don't say you don't have any, because we don't laugh at that.
I have weaknesses. One of the things, I hadn't been to a trial with the double lift. I don't work at it. I had never had to use it. My dogs don't have a great look back on them. The only time we have to use a look back really is if they've dropped something out there, and I've got to tell them to go back, and that's not a big deal because they usually know they left it. That's probably one of my weaknesses, and I'm like everybody else. Sometimes I don't trust the dog. I try to anticipate he's going to do something before he does it, and it'll get us into a little bit of trouble. But,
all right, and what is one of your biggest strengths as a handler?
knowing my stock. I read the stock pretty well, so we can get around the course. Usually pin really well because I can read the stock. That's where most novice people struggle, is at the pin. They can't read their stock. They're watching their dog all the time. Whereas me, I'm not watching my dog much. I'm watching the stock. They tell me where the dog's at. That's probably my biggest strength is being able to read the stock and pin.
Okay, so let's go to one of these you always talk about. You always tell beginning handlers and trainers about this, but all the embarrassing moments that goes with it. Give us some of your, if not your most embarrassing moment doing this, at least some of them.
Some of them, gosh, there's so many. When I first started, trying to run backwards, falling, the dog bringing the stock right over the top of me. I've had that happen. I had it happen a bunch. I don't run backwards that much now, so.
You got us to do that for you. Then at least you don't like set yourself up bad when you put hay in the middle of our arena and we're tripping up over all the time.
Yeah.
Any other embarrassing things you got here you want to spill?
Not that I can think of. That's pretty embarrassing, is having run over you.
Was it just sheep or was it cows?
It was just sheep.
Okay.
It was just
That'd
sheep.
been rough. You'd have some calves run over the top of you. That'd been rough. So what's the biggest accomplishment, most the other end of this? What's the most exciting moment you've had?
One of my most exciting. The first time I'd ever won open, and it wasn't a big trial. It was a little trial, and it was in an arena. It was the first point in time I'd really done, and the Rattler dog won the open. And that's the first time I'd ever placed it open, so I was really excited then. Since then, we've had some big ones. Oklahoma City with the Carmy dog winning 4 out of the 5 trials they ran that week. And on those trials, nobody being really close. I was probably walking on cloud 9 at that time because I'd never had that much success all at once.
Okay, so how many dogs do you think you've had at this point in your career? Just give us, you don't have to count each one, just give us an idea.
Trial dogs, probably about 7 real trial dogs.
Okay.
And then what is the furthest you've ever traveled for a trial?
Nebraska is probably the furthest I've traveled. You guys went with me. We went up there, and we'll break that record this early summer. by a long shot because we're going to travel to Maine.
That definitely crushes your previous record of Nebraska for sure. What possessed you to go to Maine?
Just looking for a place to go on vacation. Never been there. Heard how beautiful it was. Got family there, so we can go up and see them and do the trial and see the coast. And that also do another goal I've always had. I want to see the ocean, so we'll see that over there too.
Okay. And what is the most favorite trial you've ever been to? Of all time.
Yeah, what's your favorite trial? That's a tough question.
That is a tough question. I like the ones we do now, at Bartlesville and stuff. Nancy Nunn used to put a big one on. I liked it. That was my biggest accomplishment at the time. I ran third behind Angie and Bud Boudreaux. And I really like those trials just because of the competition that was there.
Okay, whenever you're at a trial, let's just ask Justin this earlier. Do you have any sort of whenever I trial with T, I do a little run beforehand, do some sprints to get kind of ready. Do you have any rituals or superstitions or little stitions or something you like to do before you and your dog?
No, I used to. I just like to get away from everybody for just a minute right before I go out there just to get everything calmed down. Doing it with the different dogs. The Carmi dog, I'll let pull on me a little bit. She can pull on the leash and stuff because I want her really excited when we go out there. That's about the only ritual I have.
Okay, so whenever you are heading out to walk into the post or again walking to the car to get your dog, what's going through your head there when you're about to run?
Just getting calmed down. Usually I get excited. The nerves start getting me, so I'm just calming down, trying to get everything calm. That's my whole goal then, is just to be calm.
Okay, and then whenever the stock are set, you send them on your outrun, what's going through your head as soon as that happens?
I'm just at that point, I'm just watching the dog and waiting to see if I have to give a safety whistle or if I'm just going to let them pick them up and bring them on their own.
When you're out there, just calm still, huh?
Just trying to be calm.
That's one way to do it. I wish I could get there for sure. I go out there and just, oh crap, come on. In my head the whole time. So.
All right, here's a really good one for you. If there was an all-knowing handler or trainer, what's one thing you would ask them?
This is a puzzling question.
That is a puzzling question.
That's why I made it the last question time.
Well, not the last question. I guess something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Probably how they set up to do their double lift.
Okay.
I understand that one.
So, you've got a lot of stories. You've been doing this for a bunch of years. Tell us one of your favorite stories you've got. We know me and Justin both know you have several of them, so let everybody else know.
Is it that happened to me, or is it somebody else doing something?
Just whatever. Just pick a couple stories you want to tell.
My favorite, it always comes up, Jack King, and I really liked the dog. He had the Spud dog, and he bred him quite a bit, and he got to where he'd be sniffing. He'd stop and pilfer and sniff for females. And I'm walking by one day, and man, it is so strong. I could smell brute in the air. And Jack would, what are you doing? He's sloshed brute up in that dog's nose and all on his face to keep him from smelling the ground. And it worked. He won that day. But I told him, even if you don't win, you got the best smelling dog here.
Okay, now give us a story about you. That's pretty funny.
Well, the funniest one was the first trial I ever did, getting stuck in all four corners, and I can't get the sheep out of the corners.
And you just feel bad, and you feel kind of overwhelmed. You feel like everybody's watching you.
Yeah.
But in reality, not many people are really going to watch every run.
Yeah.
Or be mad or judge it based on what your run is.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what dog was it that you ran at that trial?
It was a dog named Haas. It was the first dog I ever had.
Okay. So you were one of the founding members to start this club back up, and you're current director. You've been president a few times, vice president. What are some things about the club that you like, and what's some things you hope we can do in the future?
I like that we got into using technology to keep people up to date, give them a place to voice their opinion when they will, see the results. I wish we could get more trials going. We got probably in our club, it's kind of small, but we have more young people than a lot of the clubs. And I'd like to get more young people to get into it and see what the dogs can do.
What's the biggest evolution since we started this back up to now?
Back when I first started, a lot of times you'd go to a trial, and if your dog could do a really good outrun and lift, you had this trial won. Nowadays, that's just the beginning because everybody can outrun, everybody can lift, everybody can. So you really have to be detailed around the course with your dog because just doing that thing won't win it.
Become much more competitive then.
It has become way more competitive.
Okay, so in perspective to just the club here and like how it's grown and stuff and the different how's the club changed from whenever you guys started to back up to now too?
We have, I don't know how it's changed. We have we used to, when I first started, it was mostly women that were in the club. Susan Bennett, Kate Ogle, the lady that was president at the time, but nobody, it was mostly all women
and you.
And me.
So you fit right in.
So I fit right in. But it's gotten now, those people are still running, most of them. But we've got some more people. We've got more trials than we had back then and more active members. That was always a problem. You got members, but they're not active, and we need active members.
Okay, so you train several dogs now. What are say some key things to really focus on if you're a new trainer? If you could tell them.
What I would work on is getting my dog to widen out. His first step needs to be, you got to give that shoulder to you. If he's not giving it, you can't go very far. You may be able to run the novice class and do okay, but that's about as far as you can get because later on, you're going to find that you can't do certain things. You can't shed. You're going to struggle with the pen. You're going to do because your dog doesn't give that step to you. That would be my biggest thing. Get that right. Once you get that first step and everything's right, you'll start noticing your down works real well. Just everything goes easy.
Okay, so you've been doing this for a long time, and you've judged a few trials. What is something you would like to learn about judging? If they're just starting out, to give them an idea of what judges are looking for per se.
Judges are always, when you're doing it, you're looking for the straightest line, and it's hard to talk about it. It's easier to show it, but you're looking for a straight line, and you can't go back and fix it. Just go. If you mess up, keep going because you've already messed up. You've lost your points. Going back is going to cost you more. So just kind of go with the flow. If you done messed it up, try to get back on line. Don't go backwards and get on line as quick as you can, but don't go backwards. You miss a panel, don't try to go back through the panel. Just keep moving. Don't waste your time. That would probably be what I would tell everybody.
People, okay. So we go through the last. There's a few questions here. We'll go through them pretty quick, and I'll just go rapid fire. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. Male or female? Which one do you prefer?
I've always had mostly females.
Okay.
Short hair or long hair?
Expand. Okay. Is there a reason behind that?
Most of the dogs that I've had two good male dogs that we've won some with, but most of my wins have came with female dogs. I don't know why.
You just get better along with women. That's why you're getting the club started, huh?
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Okay.
Okay, short hair or long hair?
Short hair.
Just much less to deal with, right?
Much less to deal with.
Even though your best dog currently
is long hair.
But you'll put up with it because she's
right.
Okay, puppy or started dog?
I've always done puppies just because that's the cheapest way to get into it. I would much rather have a dog I don't like messing with puppies, but I'd much rather have a dog that's old enough to start and we just start right there. But the cheap way to do it is get a puppy.
Okay. Arena or field?
I like the big fields.
Okay. You want to expand on that?
I can run arenas. We'll run anywhere. Always have. We'll run in tiny arenas or big ones. But the big field trial lets your dog open up, shows you how good your outrunning is. You'll see the flaws because the distance. Distance shows you see your weakness in your dog and the control you have.
And a lot of people like question about wanting to be in arenas, but you've got to get a philosophy that's goes against that, right?
I do. My dogs should work anywhere we go. If I should be able to run them in an arena and walk out in the open and send them out on a big outrun. It shouldn't make a difference. If the dog's right, the wall doesn't mean anything.
All right. Okay. Favorite stock to work? Calves, goats, sheep, ducks, what have you.
Pigs,
Yeah, whatever. Which favorite stock to work?
I like sheep. We'll work goats. We work calves, but I like sheep.
Got a reason behind that, or just they're just most
Sheep,
of the trials are? Or?
That's what most of the trials are. But on sheep, your dog, really good sheep, that your dog has to be right.
Kind of the ultimate equalizer, right?
Yeah. If your dog's wrong, the sheep are going way off course. If your dog's right, everything's right, and it's detail, detail, detail.
Okay, big question coming up for next. Got to really decide on. Okay, Justin.
Favorite dog you've ever had?
Favorite dog I ever had
Yeah.
would probably be. It's kind of a toss-up anymore. I really love the Domino dog when I had her, and now Carmi. I've won more with Carmi than any other dog I've ever had, but I like the Domino dog because we could go work anything.
That's circling the question there and answer the question. Yeah. Favorite dog you've ever had?
Specifics, Buford, specific.
You can't,
Probably the Domino dog.
Okay.
I was confident everywhere we went.
Okay. Favorite dog that is not yours?
That is a hard one, but I can already tell you she's dead, but it was the original Carmi dog.
Okay. What about a dog that is alive right now?
Dog that is alive right now. It's a hard choice. We narrow it down even more. My favorite male dog out there is probably the Pete dog of Steve Dittmeyer's. I really like Nicole Rhodes' Bark dog, but probably the Pete dog is my
Kill a female then. Give us.
female. It's hard to. I'm trying to think. It's not mine. That makes it tougher. I don't know. Probably the Ruby dog, the Bruce. I really like her.
Okay, that's it.
So the
Easy
sister.
out there.
The sister to his
That's
own
easy
dog.
out there. Okay. Okay. Here's a question that I think you're gonna get right. And warn Justin. Favorite OSDA member that is not you?
Well, it's probably got to be my wife.
That's the correct answer in this situation. Okay. I had to warn Justin first. Like, there's a right answer for the question. And, he got it right eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last question is, best advice you would give a new handler / trainer?
Ask questions. If you see somebody, don't attack them right after they come off the field because they're usually trying to unwind because it's stressful on the field. Give them a few minutes. They come back over. Go up and talk to them. Everybody's usually really nice and will talk to you. Go do it. That's how I learned a lot of stuff. The guys you like, you see what they're doing, ask how they do it, and they'll all tell you.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot here, but what are give me some questions you think would be good for a new person to ask? You have any idea? The kind of questions.
If you see something on the course, or you can ask them anything. Ask them how they get their dog to run out like that. You can ask at the pen. Ask them, because you'll see guys do things at the pen you don't understand. Ask them why they do it or how. It's just stuff like that. Just always ask. When you get to the shed, you ask him. You see things happening. Ask why they did what they did or something, and you'll pick things up. And just talk to those guys. Talk to them about their dogs, and they'll all tell you things that you go, oh, I didn't know that. And you can take it home and try it and maybe use it.
Okay, last question, because I just thought of it. Some people have called you the pinning expert. Give us some tips at the pin. It's your the pinning king, right, Justin?
Yeah.
I think Ruth may have called him that before. So
she has.
My biggest thing is don't rush the pin. A lot of people, you'll see them check watches and stuff. I'm not going to rush the pin. What time it takes me to pin them is what time it takes me to pin them. I'm not going to rush it. Don't watch your dog, watch your stock. It tells you what your dog does. And the biggest secret at the pen is have your dog square. If you're square, you can cover up a lot of mistakes. They start to go around the pen, you can keep them from going circling the pen, because as you guys know, once they start circling, you're done. They learn a trick. So having your dog square keeps them from doing that. And do your part of the work.
There's one more thing you forgot to add. I want you to say it here. What is one thing people, like new people especially, struggle to do with the pen?
Open the gate.
Open the gate. Open the gate.
Open as wide as it'll open. The wider you open the gate, the more mouth of the pen you have. So if your pen is 8 feet across the front and it's got an 8-foot gate, you open it all the way to 90 degrees. Now you've got 16 foot of mouth opening for that pen instead of 8 foot. So open it as wide as you can. You make that thing as wide as possible.
All right. Thank you guys so much.